Arsenal unlucky again with injuries. Arsenal have been hit hard during the Man United game with reports saying that Kai Havertz is injured, but they are looking for a replacement and they are looking to enter the market again for an attacker, especially after the injury. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the targets. There is the Lookman, there is the Rodrygo now in London, or Rodrygo's agent in London to meet with Arsenal. There is the Lookman links that have been emerging again for Arsenal, of course. But before we do that, I am Judge Mo. This is Footy Judge Mo. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. The video needs your like. The like button looks like thumbs up underneath the video. You hit it, the video goes to new viewers. So hit that one. Leave a comment below. And let's start with I think this is one of the biggest stories in Arsenal season. And I'm going to say something. Havertz, suffered an injury at the knee. There are reports that are saying it's not serious injury. And I'm going to just show you the report now. It's actually unfortunate. You know, a lot of people have said that I was Havertz's biggest hater, probably, on the internet. But I believe that Kai Havertz is a magnificent talent about Leverkusen. And I believe with the arrival of Victor Gyökeres, he's going to have a fire in his belly. And he's going to have a good season. This is a massive hit for the player and for Arsenal Football Club, who have stated plenty of times that Kai Havertz has a big role to play at Arsenal. And Mikel Arteta has insisted that Kai Havertz is going to play a massive role. And I think that Kai Havertz was going to play a massive role at Arsenal this season. The competition will give him more encouragement. The competition with Victor Gyökeres, especially up top, will give him an absolute fire for him to start performing better than even before. And we saw it in pre-season. And that's why I think that it's absolutely massive that he got injured. It's absolutely unfortunate. And let me know in the comment section, did you guys think that Kai Havertz would have had a good season, especially still? But there are still news about Kai Havertz that is breaking news. Then actually Kai Havertz, although the club still assessing the early prognosis is that Kai Havertz has not suffered an ACL injury and he hasn't had a bad injury, and actually that he's going to come back. There are reports that he's saying it's not going to be a long spell outside on the sideline. We know that he had his problems before with the knee, before the season started, and now he's back. But I hope that it's not a long injury. But Arsenal are still in the market for another forward. And there is a lot of talk about the Arsenal FFP and PSR and can Arsenal spend money. Now this force in your hand to spend, because basically now with Gabriel Jesus being injured and with only Victor Gyökeres being fit, Arsenal can't wait. And that's why Fabrizio Romano have said that it's confirmed the Arsenal are back in the market for a forward after Kai Havertz's injury. And now comes the speculations. Now come who is going to be the target for Arsenal in the coming days. There is about 10 days left in the window, depending on when you're watching this. And there is the reports about the Rodrygo situation with Arsenal. There are two reports, and I think they both match each other, but they both do not negate what Arsenal are looking for, which is Rodrygo's agent. As Arsenal, it has been reported that Rodrygo is now opening the door to leave Real Madrid, and Real Madrid are opening the door for Rodrygo to leave. He hasn't played in the first game. Xabi Alonso doesn't rely on him, and that is why he probably is going to leave. But now the breaking news is that Rodrygo's agent is traveling to London. He's meeting with Arsenal and Liverpool. Liverpool are focused 100% on Isak. Liverpool aren't going to look at Rodrygo now. The door is open for Arsenal, right? And he's assessing his options. And I believe that Arsenal should absolutely present the project to him. Get Rodrygo over the line. Have Rodrygo who can fill in as a forward, who can fill into the left winger. And we saw what happened when Martinelli started against Manchester United. I think it's a lost case. And Martinelli should not be the starter for Arsenal. There is the Madueke situation, which is I don't think that Madueke should be the starter for Arsenal. Rodrygo needs to go to Arsenal if Arsenal are serious about this. If Arsenal are serious, they should not let him go to Manchester City or Liverpool. Man City is still linked to him. I'm not denying that. There are reports emerging today again that maybe maybe Man City will still go to Real Madrid and try to get Rodrygo, even if Savinho is not sold to Spurs, and that is the case, you know. So I am thinking that maybe that is the case. However, there are reports, and we have to have a key words here, that the agent has requested the move or has requested the meeting with Arsenal Liverpool. The Arsenal have not asked for that meeting, and that is in line with what David Ornstein have said in this video. Let me show you the video on what David Ornstein have said about the Rodrygo to Arsenal and the news and everything. So let me just hear what he said.
Rodrygo, I do think Arsenal looked at and had conversations about internally, but that was quite a long time ago, and I don't think they went any further. I think there may have been some intermediaries who would have favoured or were aiming to try and bring Arsenal into the equation, like there has been some work done to bring Manchester City into the equation on him if there was to be a Savio departure. The last I heard at the time of recording, it's looking very likely that Rodrygo is going to stay at Real Madrid, and this will all be a load of hot air and wasted energy. So no, I don't think Arsenal made a huge play for Rodrygo. They considered it like they consider many players, and famous last words, but I don't expect him to come into the club. Rafael Leao is a player I love, adore, and I've seen great things for him, of him at AC Milan and Portugal. But I don't know of Arsenal being on that case whatsoever. That's not one that's come across my radar. Earlier in the summer, for the backup to a competition for Saka, they looked at Brian Mbeumo. The fans give me stick for mentioning Anthony Gordon. He was on the list. There'll be a number of players that they would have looked at, but in terms of credible options coming into this last 2 weeks, there's nobody that's sort of, unless it's being done in secret, that's being sort of actively pursued, and there's sort of advanced discussions and there's a clear path.
My point about this is very simple. If Arsenal, now, if time of this recording was before the Kai Havertz news, if I'm not mistaken, that was before he got injured. Now everything changes, right? Now with Kai Havertz being injured, now you need to go to the market and find the money and find the funds. And in my opinion, they should sell Martinelli. They should call the Saudis. And I was speaking to on the Football Terrace about this, and Terry mentioned this, that they should go to the Saudis and say, listen, here is Martinelli. And they tell Martinelli, listen, the journey has ended. Just try to find yourself a club in the last 10 days. And maybe they go big for Rodrygo, who is basically active based on this report from the very credible source, has been all this summer. And Dicala is saying that the agent has requested a meeting with Liverpool and Arsenal. So basically, he's opening the door for his agent to go to Arsenal. Maybe Arsenal can go and offer 70, 80 million for Rodrygo to come in and actually revamp that left side, who has been dead for quite a while. To be honest with you, it has been absolutely dire for Arsenal for quite a while. And that is the reality. That is the case. They need to try and sign Rodrygo. Don't talk to me about wages. That's not time for wages. If you're an Arsenal fan, if you're an Arsenal Football Club, that is not time for wages, you know? So to me, they need to absolutely look at Rodrygo and sign. But there are other targets as well. David Ornstein, this is just reiterating what David Ornstein said in the video. So you let me know if you think that is a viable option. This is ridiculous that came up this morning that Arsenal are ready to submit a bid for 80 million for Morgan Rodgers. Morgan Rodgers, in my opinion, should not be an Arsenal target. It should be Eze, who wants the club. Morgan Rodgers is very similar to Eze, but I believe Eze is a better player. He plays as a 10 or an attacking midfielder and also can play on the sides as he did for Aston Villa. So why not Eze? Eze is begging Arsenal to actually sign him. I know that the deal with Spurs is still there, but come on, Eze is 60 million. This is 80 million pound. Morgan Rodgers doesn't make a lot of sense to me in terms of the money that is being paid. Rodrygo is even cheaper than Morgan Rodgers. So I don't think that how true is that. That has emerged on my feed plenty of times today, this morning, before I record this video. I don't know how credible this is. I'm telling you from now, don't come for me if this turns out to be complete bullshit. But this has been emerged after the Kai Havertz situation and after Kai Havertz has been reported injured. I like Morgan Rodgers. I think he's absolutely a fantastic footballer. I think physically he's amazing. I think talent-wise he's absolutely brilliant. He won PFA Young Player of the Year. He's valued at 80 million. That's a lot of money. But I would just go for Eze. My opinion, someone who I think Eze is more talented than Morgan Rodgers in terms of dribbling and shooting and creating. And that's why I think Arsenal should go for Eze, who can play the left, who can play the 10. Why spend more if you can spend less for someone who actually likes your club? Of course, the last option, which is from a 50-50 source, Rudy Galletti, is a 50-50 source. He has gotten a lot of things right, and he has gotten a lot of things wrong. Arsenal have held internal discussions and have made inquiries about Ademola Lookman. If that is the case, Ademola Lookman's price is less than Madueke. Why isn't Ademola Lookman on Arsenal? I know that Inter were in for him, and Atalanta were asking Inter to pay 50 million euros, not pounds. That is 45 million pounds. And that is why I think this is a very viable option for Arsenal. Ademola Lookman is a fantastic footballer, great footballer. He's flexible, he's affordable, he's not going to ask for big wages. He's not coming from the Premier League, so he's not going to be like asking for the massive wages that will hinder the club. He isn't, I don't believe that he's as game changer as a Rodrygo. He's a similar, probably maybe similar level to Morgan Rogers. I know a lot of people are skeptical about him because it didn't work out for him in the Premier League, but he has evolved. Look at Salah when it didn't work out for him in Chelsea. He went to the Italian league and came back as one of the best players to ever play in the Premier League. Just take that as a hint. How old is Lookman? He's not even that old. So I believe that Arsenal spent the money. If you're not going to get Rodrygo and you're not going to get Izzy, Ademola Lookman should be a fantastic signing for Arsenal Football Club. He suits the club. He can play as a 10. He can play as a 9. He can play from the left as he did for Atalanta. So for me, that makes a lot of sense. So Arsenal should go for Lookman, in my opinion. If you aren't going to get Rodrygo, in my opinion, this is the ranking. Rodrygo, Eze, Lookman, then Morgan Rogers, in my opinion. You let me know your rank. If you have a ranking, you let me know which player you want more than the other. Do you think Arsenal should fork that much money for Rodrygo or go for a cheaper option? If that is going to stretch the club, you let me know. And do you think Arsenal should even go to sign someone that is out and out left winger, or they should sign a striker or something to replace Kai Havertz? You let me know, guys, in the comment section what you guys think. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Turn on the notification bell to know when we go live, people, because we go live a lot of times. This is Footy Judge Mo, and thank you for listening to me, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon.